Okay, GDT 104 people, welcome back. This is just a quick tutorial reiterating what we already went over in class in terms of using your limited color palette and the tints and shades. If you watched the last tutorial, the only other one on here so far, then you already know how to make tints and shades. If you don't, you can watch that video. Just click on the channel, it'll be there. And you can see right here in this little thumbnail, that's what we made. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and launch Illustrator. I know it's going to open on my other monitor, so I'm going to bring it over here. There we go. And make a new document. I'm just going to make some tints really quick. This is not for instructional purposes. This is just to make them. I'll obviously have done it slower in the other video. So let's say I've got this nice pink here. And I'm going to make this. And then all right, now shades. All right, now I'm just going to move these over so we can use these. And step one, go over here to your shapes tool and grab the polygon tool. We're going to use this just as it is. And I'm going to go right to the center of our document here, hold down Option Shift, pull out, and then I'm going to rotate this 90 degrees right here with our rotate tool. Just double click. There we go. And let's just give it a stroke, no fill. Now, let's go back to our polygon tool, and I'm going to deselect this. We're going to go right to the center here, and I'm going to use Option Shift so I can grow this from the middle. But I'm going to go down on my keyboard keys, up, down keys, arrow keys, whatever they're called, so that I can reduce the size, because I can go up, add a bunch, or go down. So those are your arrow keys. And I'm just going to rotate this. We can do it this way. And I just want these to go a little bit beyond, not even beyond, but just overlap a little bit, because we're going to use the shape builder tool to make this a lot easier than it normally would be. Otherwise, we'd be drawing these things and having to measure, and it just wouldn't even be fun. So, but these do have, they can't be like this. If you can see that, they have to be touching the other paths. So let's just check that real quick. I can already tell it's going to be fine. Yep. Yep. Okay, we're good. So now we need to make another triangle. And let's see, we're just going to go like this. I don't know why it won't let me do it upside down. Let's go 180 degrees on this. We'll just eyeball it. And I'm just holding down shift and pulling down this top one, and it maintains its proportionality, but lets me, basically triangulate off of this part of the triangle. So holding down shift again. If I didn't hold down shift, you'd end up with this type of thing going on. Undo. All right, now here is where we run the risk of something. Okay, that's good. Right on. And then here, good. Should be good. And then here, should be good. We just want to make sure that these. See, now this could be a problem. See, this is a path and this is a path. And while it looks like it's okay, what we're looking at is the stroke, so that's deceiving. We actually want those paths to overlap. All right, so we're going to actually make this just a little bit bigger. And this is where I'll go from holding down Option and Shift just so the whole thing will grow from the center just a hair. All right, that's got to be good. All right, let's leave that alone. If it's not, then you'll see what happens and how that's a problem. So now the hard part is over. We've got a hexagon with a triangle inside of it and another triangle inside that triangle, 180 degrees. Now what we're going to do is take our line segment tool, and we're just going to connect dots to dots, or really anchor points to anchor points, corners to corners. So you see when I get over this, it says anchor, and I just want to pull out to here until it says anchor. Anchor, 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 anchor. Okay, now you can see sort of where we're going. We've got the structure here. Problem is, I couldn't go in here. These are not individual triangles. These are not bounded. I can't go in here and click this and fill it. So that's where the shape builder comes in. And the shape builder is sort of like the new Pathfinder. It doesn't replace everything the Pathfinder can do, and the Pathfinder can't do everything the shape builder can do. But this is a very great tool for creating shapes that interact with each other in seemingly complicated ways. So this is just one way to do it. So I'm going to click here on the shape builder, and I'm going to actually tell it to be black fill, no stroke. This up here in the options bar, same as this. And now I'm going to come over here, hold down Command to get my selection tool, select all this, and now I'm just going to go in here with the shape builder tool and click in all these areas. And what that's going to do is it's going to basically use those paths to then make all of these spaces independent triangle shapes. Okay, click, click. All right, now when I select all of this, it's a little confused for some reason. It still has that stroke. So I'm going to say no stroke, and the fill's going to be black. Doesn't look like it changed, but it did. And now look, I can pull this out, pull this out. These are all independent shapes. I'm going to undo that. And it looks kind of cool. What if we actually, just for fun, gave it a white stroke? Yeah, it's not bad. That's kind of fun. But we don't really want to do that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to set our light source, and you know, you can do this any kind of way, but I'm going to say that our light source is up here. So obviously that means this shape is going to be our lightest because the light's hitting here, and therefore our darkest area is going to be back here. So let's click here, and then I'm just going to hit I to get my eyedropper so I can sample from my palette over here. Let's get the lightest one we have, and then our second lightest is going to be just this one right here. Click. And then our third lightest are going to be this one and this one. And then our fourth will be here, and these are going to be, let's see, right here. We could be more dramatic and go right with our actual color here. I don't know, we can play with this. I could then go here, and I don't know. Let's just keep it this way. And then our fifth color here, now we could say this one, and then here will be our darkest. Let's make that even darker. So, or should we? I don't know. This is kind of where you can play around with it and say, you know, you can sort of play with how dramatic your steps are. This is good for right now. So there you go. We've made our low poly, 3D looking 20-sided die, or whatever you want to call it, gem, ruby, and that's all there really is to it. Once again, these are all sort of independent shapes now. They can be pulled apart. And this is just something to consider when you're making your robot. And, you know, you could do something kind of fun with it. We could say, let's, you know, put a background on it. And I'm just going to go in here, put on kind of some sort of like lighter, what color would go well with that? Some kind of light blue. Say something like this. Send this to back. And then just to make this pop out a little bit, I'm going to grab my ellipse tool, go right to the center here, something like this, and then I'm going to make that white. And take this ellipse and drag it almost all the way to the back. We're just going to put it on top of our background, but behind everything else. And now this looks stupid, but that's all right. It's not going to, because all I want to do is add a real subtle sort of outer glow to it, to sort of separate it from the background, just like you would with lighting or something in photography. When you have that third light aimed at the backdrop, it makes your subject pop out. So let's go to, with this selected, the white sphere, let's go to Effect, Blur, Gaussian blur. Good old Gaussian blur works for so many things, been around for so long. And let's just blur this. About there. Okay. And that's cool, but it's a little heavy-handed. So I'm going to take this, and then I'm just going to drop the opacity down. So one thing about creating effects, anything, is that they should bolster what you're trying to do, whether it's a drop shadow or an outer glow, but it should aid what the graphic, not be something that draws attention to itself. Okay, if that makes sense. It's there. It's a supporting actor. It's not trying to be the main event. So let's just drop that down. And of course, if you were printing this, you'd want to print just to see how it's showing up, because everything's always going to be more vibrant on your screen. It's a little disappointing sometimes when you print. It's like, oh, that's not what I expected. So, yep, click off. There we go. Look, looks pretty good. So there you have it. Maybe this helps. Think about that with your robots. It doesn't even have to be, like this, but you can divide up your pieces somehow using the shape builder tool. Basically, wherever you have overlapping segments, you can use the shape builder tool. If I move over here, just to give you an example, just to reiterate, I'm sure you understand this, you're smart people, but something like this. I go ahead and make a square. Give it a color. And then anywhere I put a path in here, it doesn't matter. I could do it with this. Let's just put a few in here. And granted, these are paths. They're going to stay here. I just don't have a stroke or a fill on them, so they're not showing up. But it should all work. I mean, this is just going to be nuts. But I can now select all of this. All right, so I've got these overlapping things. That's the important part. Now come over to my shape builder tool, and you see now it allows me to segment these things. So if I just go through here clicking, granted, it's going to change to whatever I have this set at. So this is not the best way to do it because it's making everything disappear. But as you saw when I did it with a 20-sided die, I made it all black, and that was just basically so I didn't lose my bearings. But still, this is going to work the same way. I can go in here and treat these all as individual shapes. And another way to do this, if you were doing something more freehand like that, you could also use the good old knife tool, and that's just that's more free-handed. You can do this kind of thing, or you can hold down Option and it'll be a straight line, and that's going to cut this up. It's going to do the same thing. I mean, there's so many things that repeat itself in different tools and techniques in Illustrator. So this does basically the same thing. But don't want to do that. As far as the shape builder though, say you've also got something like a bunch of stuff that you want to overlap. Something like this. So now I grab all of this, take my shape builder, and let's just make this a different color so we know what we're doing. And remember, anything that I have that goes plus becomes its own shape. Anything that I hold down Option, this is going to remove this. So let's just do like every other. Click, Option, minus, keep it, get rid of it, keep it, get rid of it, keep it, get rid of it, and so on. And then we'll find out what we have. So these are now all little independent pieces. All right, so I can go in there and the key to this, like everything else in Illustrator, is play with it yourself, experiment, have fun with it. Because remember, this stuff is fun. That's what you're doing it for. All right, so hopefully that helps. Get something out of that. There you go. That's it. And until next time, see you in class.